You're sitting across from someone you kind of want to know better. You've talked for maybe 20 minutes. They ask you something about yourself and you feel it. That split second where you realize if you actually answer, if you let something real show, the whole thing might tip somewhere you can't control. So you give the small, safe answer instead. Then you go home and wonder why connection always feels so much harder for you than it seems to for everyone else. Somewhere along the way, you learned that being known is more dangerous than being alone. This cuts to why the basic mechanics of friendship feel broken in your hands. You probably grew up in a house where the emotional temperature was unpredictable. Not necessarily loud or violent, sometimes the quietest homes are the ones that teach you the most about danger. Maybe a parent would check out when things got hard. Maybe the other was quick to anger, or to that specific kind of silence that makes a child's stomach drop. Maybe there was a sibling, and you learned early that showing need in front of them meant it would be used against you later. The specifics change, the pattern stays. What you learned, and this happened so quietly you probably don't have a single memory of deciding it, is that the safest version of yourself was the one nobody could touch. You got very good at reading the room. You noticed the small shift in someone's face before they got upset. You figured out which topics were safe and which ones made people uncomfortable, and you filed that away. You became useful. You anticipated needs before people had to ask. You were easy to be around because you never asked for anything, never surprised anyone. You learned that love meant disappearing a little. But you also learned something else. The moment you let someone pass that, the moment you showed them something you actually cared about or feared or wanted, things got messy. People left. Or worse, they stayed and they used what you'd shown them. So over years, you built something that looks like friendliness from the outside. You can talk to almost anyone. You can be charming, interested, present, but there's always a door that stays locked. And you've been keeping it locked so long that by now you don't even think about it. It's just how you are. Except that door is exhausting to hold shut. What's happening in your nervous system is something psychologists call the fawn response. It's a survival mode, just like fight, flight, or freeze, but it's the one nobody talks about. When your nervous system learned that the environment around you was unpredictable, it found a solution. Become so attuned to others, so accommodating, so undemanding that you reduce the chance they'll turn on you. You became an emotional satellite, always monitoring, always adjusting based on where the other person was. It kept you safe in a way that mattered when you were small and dependent. That response still runs in your body now, even though the danger has changed, even though you're an adult, even though the people around you now aren't the people from that first house. Your nervous system still reads closeness as a threat that needs managing. It still believes that being wanted means you have to perform, and that being truly known means you'll eventually be rejected. So it keeps doing what it was trained to do. When a friendship starts to deepen, when someone asks you something that needs a real answer instead of a polished one, that old alarm goes off. It doesn't always feel like fear, it feels like exhaustion. It feels like you suddenly have no energy for this relationship, even though you liked this person 5 minutes ago. It feels like you need to pull back. Your nervous system is protecting you the only way it knows how, by making sure nobody gets close enough to hurt you. The wall was never about the other person, it was about surviving what happened before them. Once you can see that clearly, something changes. The wall isn't protecting you anymore, it's just keeping you in. And the part of you it's protecting, the part that has needs and fears and wants things, that part isn't dangerous, it's just human. Moving forward doesn't mean forcing yourself to be vulnerable or opening up. Those phrases just create more pressure. Start somewhere smaller. Start by noticing when that door begins to close. When you're about to give the small, safe answer instead of the true one. When you feel the urge to make yourself smaller so the other person stays comfortable. Just notice, don't change anything yet. Because the moment you can see it happening, the moment you catch yourself mid-fawn and think, oh, there it is, that old instinct to perform so nothing bad happens, you're no longer just running on autopilot. You're watching it. That's different. Then when you notice it, try one small thing, not a full vulnerability dump. Just tell the truth, one size smaller than you normally would. Someone asks how you're doing, and instead of "I'm fine, how are you?" the reflex, the fawn response, you say something slightly more real. "Honestly, I've had a weird week, I'm tired." That's it, nothing dramatic. Nothing that requires them to suddenly become your therapist. Just a little more of the actual you, then watch what happens. Usually nothing terrible, usually they just say something back. Maybe they match it, maybe they don't. But the thing you've been braced for, the rejection, the moment they decide you're too muchy, it doesn't come. Because it was never coming. It was just the echo of something old. The other thing to practice, staying in the conversation when you feel the urge to leave it. When you want to deflect, make a joke, change the subject, that's the fawn response firing. It feels like danger. It's actually just unfamiliarity, so sometimes just stay, keep the door open 1 second longer than the panic wants. Just to see what happens. These aren't big moves. They're small experiments where you let yourself be a little real and watch that the world doesn't end. That people don't leave. That being known is survivable, even though some part of you is still convinced it isn't. Connection feels so exhausting because you built an enormous system to keep people at exactly the right distance. And running that thing takes constant energy. Every conversation is a performance. Every time someone gets close, you're working harder to manage it. Of course, you're tired, you're doing an extra job every single time you're around someone. So maybe the exhaustion isn't the cost of being safe. Maybe it's the cost of the wall. And maybe the person sitting across from you asking that question you're about to deflect. Maybe they're worth finding out. If any of this landed, Apophenia is where we do this every week. There's a lot more waiting for you.